Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Appreciate you. We want to do law of attraction and gratefulness again. Gratitude. Law of attraction and gratitude. I'm going to continue to combine these two things together because without gratitude, you would never apply the law of attraction correctly. Everybody hear what I just said? I'm going to continue to combine these two things together because without gratitude, you would never properly apply. You never properly apply the law of attraction correctly. Everybody got that? Someone to break it down in a different way than I just said it. Or tell me from experience how right I am.
Well, if you're not grateful, you're going to attract ungrateful things. Like, if you lack gratitude, then you will have a life that reflects that you are ungrateful. And the hardest part is that it may not be visible to the average eye, but it will be visible to your internal person, and that's going to feel like torture.
Thank you.
Make sure you unmute them. I dominate my screen.
Unhappy equals ungrateful.
No, give me more. Come on. Give me more. You've been unhappy before. You understand all the time.
When you complain, you are ungrateful. When you complain, you're unhappy. And so anytime I'm complaining, I don't have anything to be grateful for because I'm complaining. I'm focused on what's not going right instead of being grateful for what is going right.
What's the side effect of all that?
Anger?
What's the side effect of anger? How would anger manifest itself in your life? Someone help her out.
Poverty. Okay.
You attract more things to you that make you angry.
That's good. That's facts. What else?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. You said the side effect of anger, I mean, just in a nutshell, I would say poverty because that's all anger can lead you to.
Okay, that's fair. Let me push that further then. Anything that you have in your life that's not serving you or you don't want, it's poverty. There is no in between. We don't get to guess here. If it does not take you to the next level that is subjective to your dreams, it's poverty. It's not kinda, well, it's poverty. But the side effect of anger is obviously poverty. But the side effect of not being grateful is poverty. Throw out some other words without unmuting your mics. Just say it loud enough for people to hear you here. Other words that have nothing to do with, or just not gratitude. Doesn't matter.
Frustration.
Frustration, poverty, fear, poverty, poverty, irritation. Indecisive is the granddaddy of all poverty. In between, poverty.
Procrastination.
Procrastination, poverty. Give me positive words. Was poverty. I'm not just going to say prosperity if it's not. Depends. Could be poverty. Could be prosperity. If you're moving around a bunch of people who don't serve you, poverty. If you moving towards your PhD and your dreams, and you are writing a business plan for your counseling school, prosperity. Make sense?
Yeah.
We're talking about, if you didn't get it, we're talking about Shannon right now. Okay? Give me more words. Peace, prosperity. This definitely granddaddy of all prosperity. Prosperity.
Dream work.
Prosperity. So are we following? There ain't no in between. It's not. It's
My blueprint state.
it is poverty or prosperity. If you find yourself in between, you find yourself not serving you. There is a time and place for in between. Spencer Johnson, Peaks and Valleys, he covers this in between plateau. There is a time. You can't always be on high speed. You'll burn out your engine. If you're driving a car and the red line is all the way up and you're the whole time, at some point, you will blow out your engine. At some point, you got to turn the engine off and let it rest. The reason why your cell phones slow down, because we don't cut them off. Come on, you're just as guilty as I. You're just as guilty as I. You can go 34 days without cutting off our cell phone. Especially computers. They go into sleep, but they never restart. At some point, everything has to go to a plateau. At some point, everything has to go to a plateau. Everything needs wintertime. If trees always bloom, they never have enough nutrients for the roots. They'd be too busy fertilizing what makes them pretty. Some of you right now are so ungrateful that you put leaves all around you to look pretty. Makeup, haircuts, I'm going boy and girl consecutively. Guys, fancy cars. You do all you can. You go to school in a degree you don't like, but you know what? It makes money and mama said do this or whatever. Or in my case, you go to school, you get a degree, but your brother was successful in this and you always had to live under your brother's shadow. Well, let's go do that.
You gonna quit telling my story?
Okay. I am so grateful that I wised up after one semester of that crap. That is not what I wanted. I even left Galveston to go live in Katy with him. Getting back on my feet. So, man, I just need to be around it. And I found only the ways I didn't want to do it. It's what I found. I found he had a party every Friday. Every Friday in his huge house. Makes sense. I know, right? But here's what I also discovered. And this is, my brother told me the most powerful thing I ever heard. He said, Tony, when you move in with a girl, you need to make sure you can afford everything on your own. He says, because you never know what's going to happen. But when it does happen, it won't affect your life too much.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
For you, in that situation of living with your brother, what was your biggest, I would say takeaway, but what was your biggest lesson of gratitude in a situation that you realized afterwards you didn't want to be in, or that was not worthy of you?
It wasn't what I wanted to be in. I figured out when I went with my brother, I like being myself. That was my number one takeaway. See, growing up, I didn't meet my brother till I was 10. He was 14. And he was the cute guy, the smart guy, this. And I even had family members say, what happened to you? Your brother's doing so well. I mean, even had this here. I mean, honest to God, I had to honestly do this. And with understanding all of this, I had just went through a divorce, and I'm saying, you know what, man, I'm tired of being out here. I want a change of scenery. You ever been somewhere where you wanted a whole change of scenery? You know how women, you get your new man, so you get you some new hair, or you leave that man, you get your new hairdo. You understand? I just wanted to change the scenery. I just wanted a new me. So I figured, let's leave poverty Galveston, and let's go up there to Katy. Now, if you're not from Houston area, let's leave people who make $35,000 a year on average to people who make $90,000 a year on average. This is about what it is. I spent 9 months up there. I enrolled in school in the degree that he was doing for a living, chasing what he had. 2 weeks in, I realized I don't like this degree at all. Good thing for me is I finished with a 3.57 GPA there, and I would use that. I would use those 32 hours to transfer out of there because that's what I got at the school. But here's the important part. I realized, holy crap, I'm actually very happy being me. I'm actually super happy being me. And I hate, and hear me well, I hate being my brother. That's a word for somebody. Some of you right now, you keep trying to be everybody else. See, I realized at some point, I didn't even know I was grateful for being me until I tried not to be me. I didn't like it. It was the best and worst 9 months of my life. Best because I learned, and he did. His income did change my mentality. Worse because I didn't like anything that he was doing. And I thought I would. I thought that I would like all these things. I thought that I would like the Lincoln Mark LT, the $400,000 house, the BMW 745 series. I thought he custom made his own house. He drew it, gave it to contractors, and they built what he drew. I thought I would love that. I don't. I just don't. I just don't need all that. And I realized that because by the time I got up there, I was happy with me. See you there, Brian?
Yes, I got it. Yeah, I received all that.
That's it. Now, if you got some siblings and you struggle with that, maybe that could help you. Just saying. Okay, let's pause right there. Who's got comments? Something that dropped in your head or your spirit while I was talking? All right, we got Deanna. Go ahead, Deanna.
So you said going through that process, you realized that you were happy with you. For those who don't even know who they are, how would they start that path of
Great question. But you missed the question. I mean, you missed the answer. I didn't know who I was.
You didn't know until you got there and experienced
Yeah.
what you didn't want.
I had no idea who I was. I just knew I was running from poverty. And I said, hey, it's got to be something better. The truth is, I got exactly what I wanted. It was something better for me in K. Me. I found me. I found me in K. I was going to find this breakthrough, but I was the breakthrough. Man, and this is 2008. To give you a year of this. This is 2008. I went January 2008. I found me. I wasn't looking for me, and neither did I go on a discovery for me. But moving forward, or showing up, Shannon just did a class, showing up for me. When I got into what did not serve me, I was happy enough with me to know this crap don't fit me. It is only when you're not happy with you that you put other people's stuff on you that don't fit. That's when you do it. That's when you go, you know what? Let me just do this because I don't like me anyway. Maybe I'll like them so I don't have to realize how much I don't like me. Or maybe I'll like them because I clearly don't like me. Either way, gratitude is everything. I didn't know who I was, but I was grateful. So I found out who I was. Yeah. Shannon says she was about to ask that question. I had gratitude. In fact, it was so many reasons for me to have gratitude. For one, with the divorce and survive. It's not that easy. It's really not. It's really not that easy. Then I was changing, and I liked who I was becoming. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I went to school for computer programming. Today, I computer program. It's not something I want to do for a living. It is something I do to save cost. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I do this to save money. But when it's time to build an app, I hire a professional. You get what I'm saying? But I know enough about it to know how I want it to work when I do it or when I hire someone. So it's a blessing. But yeah, no. You want to simply, let me speak to everybody. If you don't know who you are, if you be happy, you can never get anywhere you don't want. Not for long. You can say this spiritually. You can say the Holy Spirit in a movie. That's cool. It wouldn't bother me saying that. You can say God will show up in a movie. It wouldn't bother me. You can just say you'll be guided by your compass. I don't care how you do it. When you are filled with the love of you, all that stuff that don't fit you, it won't serve you. This is why people can kick drug addictions. It's not that they went to this 12-step program. It's through this 12-step program or whatever they did, they found themselves and got happy about it. And their happiness, their sobriety, they got happy about their sobriety. And that outweighed the taste of that drug. Go ahead. You got it. Please.
Okay. So it's going back to my question that you did bring up. I was going to ask if gratitude played a part in your journey from Galveston to Katy, and you answered that. What I'm asking now is, as far as gratitude, even with using the addict and the addiction and you knowing what you didn't want here in Galveston, you were grateful for what you had? Or like, because what I'm thinking is you have to be grateful for your current circumstances, but you also have to be grateful for the want of more in order to leave your current circumstances. Because a lot of times I feel like some people sit and believe, I feel like that's what I did for a long time. I sat in my current sphere of influence. I sat in my current just circle and, oh yeah, I'm grateful. But you're not grateful because you know that you're not comfortable there, but you're forcing yourself to be. And so the real genuine gratitude comes when you say, yes, I'm grateful for this, but I'm grateful enough to leave it.
Yeah.
If that was a question.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was. The law of complacency is where we're about to go. But let me rewind a little bit and answer the 2 or 3 questions she had up in there. But the law of complacency is what she was honing in on. There was a time that I was addicted to alcohol. So I get a good year. About 2006. I had just that divorce that I was getting through in 2008. It started in 2006. Started in 2005. It started in 2005. Oh, okay. Was powerful in 2006. Make sure you can see me here. But I see her. Let me see me. Okay, great. Started in 2005. By 2006, I was drinking every night. I had no food. No food. No food. No food. Did y'all hear me say no food? But I found drinking money every night. Because it was the only way that I could, that with my awareness, could cope with what I was going through. No food, but I drank every single night. Every night I drank. Now I drink because I feel like it. Then I drank because I had to. I'm happy because I'm with my boys drinking. I was not happy. I was happy that I had a substitute not to address how unhappy I was. And I was, any substitute in my life, I immediately fell in love with. Oh. It doesn't matter if you were a substitute that reminded me or that didn't remind me how I actually felt, I loved you. I absolutely loved you. I avoided and hated people who reminded me how I felt. I couldn't stand positivity. This is why I'm fully aware when I see people allergic to positivity. I couldn't stand the church. I don't want to hear all that. I wish I had somebody. I'm trying to. I didn't want to hear all that.
Wait now. Wait.
When you in it, I don't want to hear all that. I'm not telling you. I think here, here come Brian. God did everything for him. I'm telling you, okay. I'm unhappy, broke. I got a front like I ate today. And you want to tell me how good your God is. Nobody's trying to hear.
Ooh, wow. Okay. It just took a turn.
Here's the deal. I was a believer.
Another day.
I was a believer. I was just a disgruntled believer. I was a disgruntled believer.
Sound like many churches today.
I'm just trying to be transparent. And if you reminded me how I felt, I didn't like you. Yeah, I didn't like you. Oh, but old girl who would let me forget who I was, I would overindulge myself in her. Yeah. I would overindulge myself in her because she loved me so much, she let me be a loser and I liked it. I'm just trying to talk up in this place. I'm just trying to.
I got you.
I'm just like many other people going through a divorce. Let me lay with something. Go ahead. You got mute.
The tricky thing about it is, and what you have to be careful, and where you really get lost in it, where you really, I don't want them to see my face because I'm about to be like really, but you have to be careful because for someone who, like for me, I'm sure, like Tony, your awareness was probably still light years higher than mine was when I was in this same state that you're speaking about. And so to keep me, because I did realize it was something tinkering up there that was a little bit more astute than people around me, but I didn't want to tap into it. So they help you to, what did you just say? They, to not.
Substituted me. Oh, no. I said.
What are they keeping you from doing?
Loving, keeping me from Addressing myself.
They're keeping you kind of like in a loser state. In a loser state as far as your dreams. But I made them champion me in my poverty. I could be a champion in whatever area you pull me in, as long as you keep me from being a champion in my dreams. So to this day, the phone will go off. Girl, what's up? What you been up to? What you doing? Look, fool, I'm not that champ no more. You know, but in essence, that's what I had to do. I had to be a champ somewhere because there's a winner in me. So I want to win in the bed. I want to win and being everything you need me to be to you. So I don't have to be nothing to myself. So it's like, now that's totally ungrateful. You know, totally ungrateful. But in my mind, I'm grateful because I'm a winner. They need me. I'm the best. Da 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 da. 50 million other best out there. I mean, I was really the best, but you know, no, I'm just joking. But that's what we do. You feed your champion, but it keeps you even more so in a loser state because you're not feeding the champion.
That's facts. That is facts. That's facts. That's facts. She out here helping folks.
I had to say that because
No, that's powerful.
call somebody out.
That's powerful.
Somebody out there like me.
No, that's powerful. That is. Can y'all hear me? Okay, because you have the screen on. I can never see when they hit. That is powerful. Okay, no, you good. That's powerful. I'm not even going to add to that.
No.
Who wants to add to that?
Nobody. Y'all better not say one word. I'm gonna get my going. Please.
But then let me point out what she said. I ain't adding to it. Let me point out what she said. I was making champions because I knew it was a champion in me. So the champion in her was so strong, it was manifesting champion in other people. Go ahead, sir.
That wasn't what I was hoping you pointed out. I was hoping you pointed out the fact that she was a champion in her poverty. Point that
Oh
out.
yeah. That's, you know what? I'm glad you did that because you reminded me of something I forgot about. I wanted to say earlier. He said champion in her poverty. This is addressing Shannon's original question. Grateful in your anger. And I'm not talking about in a prosperity way. I'm saying there was no real gratitude. You found something that you wanted to be grateful for and you lied about it and you fronted about it and it was just a little bit. It's the equivalent of, I'm a good person, but you're not. Nothing about you is a good person. Do you know how many people I see right now that say positive vibes only? And they're very mean people who only want to be positive when it serves them. And they convince themselves it's positive vibes only. It's highly inappropriate, grossly irresponsible. But it happens. It is absolutely disgusting. But this is how you're grateful. Remember, last week, almost everybody said how grateful they was with a but. That's not gratitude. It is not gratitude. It's not. As soon as you put a but in, you say, well, here's the poison that I'm hiding, but it's good poison though. If you're not careful, I have a friend. No buts. No nothing. She said gratitude. She said something else first. Gratitude has no buts. Check this out. I have a friend.
I didn't mean to cut you off, all your 10 pushers, but whoever just said gratitude have no buts, thank you for my next sermon.
She said it the first time.
I do not want that sound. Okay.
She said, but in the King James Version way of a donkey. That's what she said. That was Shannon too. Now, I have a friend that has a girlfriend, and he's awful. He's a loser. and by friend I mean someone that is a friend, but he's a friend way over there.
Ooh, allow.
Okay. The law of allowing
Yes.
has allowed me to respect the fact that he is a master creator,
That is a word.
and he shall create his own universe, own reality, without my help. And those who are in his vortex, as Abraham Hicks would say,
Okay. Oh, my sister.
they enjoy it. It's okay. By all means, go get your people way over there. Okay. He's awful. And what he does, he goes to his girlfriend with this present. And this present would be, let's use an informing language. He brings her this great bundle of wheat. Ooh, look what I got you. And then he moves the wheat a little bit to the left, so our eyes go to the left, and he plant poison. He pack a good harvest so he can plant what he really is. She's living in the middle of his poison, but he'll find a good harvest from somewhere and show her, hey, this is what I really am. And I want to tell you all, when it comes to this gratitude thing, I want you to watch what people actually plant, not what they say. Because grateful people are great planners. Grateful people will pick you up and say, oh, baby, no. I've been there before. You don't have to give me no gas money. No, I get it. No, it's all right. I was coming this way anyway. Grateful people will let you make mistakes and don't force you to apologize for it.
Or make you relive them.
Or make you relive them. Or the apology. Grateful people behave differently.
Please say that again.
Yes, grateful people behave differently. And let me tell you, there's side effects to gratitude. The part when what did I say? Tell me, you say what I said.
Grateful people let you make mistakes and don't get mad for it. Gee,
Don't get mad for it. Don't make you apologize. Which double certified.
That's it.
That's it. I'm the people's pastor. Yes, sir. That's it. That shit's me.
One of them text said it was something you would love. Okay.
Yeah.
Side effects, gratitude are visible. Name me someone that you admire, grateful, that you really admire.
Antonio T.
like
Smith Jr.
And they act like you. Still applies.
Oh, well.
Still applies. It still applies.
I need to change that out. I need to change that out.
Let me see, the people you truly admire. You go to Oprah, whatever. When you hear them speak, you go, wow, that was profound. Gratitude has side effects. It just does. It just does. Let's pause right there. Let me pick on someone. Let's see it. MOD Bashangi. There she is. Yes. There you go. Unmuted. She's unmuted. Bust some French for us real quick. Just do whatever. They got to hear you. I don't think they've ever heard you. They don't hear you like I be hearing you.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Bashangi, j'habite ici à l'Ontario. J'ai 2 enfants, ils s'appellent Marie et je suis contente.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, I want you to language of love. I just almost got turned on. That's the language of love.
I want MOD, do me a favor before I get you to talk. I want you to sum up
Pardon me?
the main points of everything I said. Yeah. Sum up the main points of everything I said in French.
Alors, tout ce que je disais, c'était que les gens qui ont un cœur qui veut, qui remercie pour les choses qu'ils font, ces personnes-là sont maintenant capables de appeler d'autres choses dans leur vie, des choses qui vont avancer, des choses qui veulent dans leur vie. Alors, c'est pour ça que si tu veux vraiment beaucoup de bonnes choses dans votre vie, vous devez vraiment voir pour Dieu dans la vie.
All right, come on, let's clap. I need learn to speak French. Okay, I think you got a reception issue though, because you were kind of breaking up just a little bit, but
okay,
you still killed it.
Thank
Now, say anything that you want to say that the universe is in you. You have something to say. Go ahead. You can say whatever you want to say.
Oh my God. This is a setup. I'm just kidding.
I did. Shannon had when I did it. Why he only do that to me?
I'm grateful.
Okay, let me help you out. We were earlier this weekend. You were talking about anger and choosing
I'm grateful.
people that may not always serve you and trying to walk in between.
Don't know that.
What have you learned all this week about gratitude and your position in gratitude?
Well, it's just that I haven't been grateful. In being neutral, I haven't been grateful, and it made me angry, and I didn't realize that I wanted to be grateful. And I know I was capable of being grateful, but for some reason, because that wasn't what I was doing, there was this anger, and I'm like, but I'm not. I'm a good person. Like what you just said, that was me. That horrible person you just talked about, that was definitely me. I'm like, I'm a good person. I am a good person. Positive vibes, 21 days of authenticity. Everyone sees the smile and stuff, but it's like sometimes, I throw that out the window and I'm like, well, okay, well, whatever with that positivity stuff, right now, this is the real world, and I'm like, trying to make it consistent is trying to make it consistent no matter what, and continuously telling myself that this is what I chose. This is what I chose. This is what I chose, as hard as it is. And even, there's so much to say about that, but that's just what I'll say.
Excellent. Good job there. Hold on. Am I breaking up for you? Can you hear me? I am breaking up? Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
What about? I'm still breaking up? Okay, so it's not her, it's me. Okay. Tempest is for the takeover till I come back.
I'm grateful for it. Thank you. So I'm gonna do what Antonio did and pick on somebody who is quiet. The person I was gonna pick on left. So how about Michelle? Auntie Michelle. Or can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So can you share some thoughts about us so far today? Your experience with gratitude this last week?
Well, I have learned that I am actually on day 6 of the book because I started over last week. And what I noticed different this year as in last year is last year I picked easy things to be grateful for. I picked people that were easy to be grateful for. Last year I was going through a situation with my mom And so it was easy for me to be grateful for her going back and looking at all the things that she's done for me in my past, growing up, letting me choose me, I guess you could say, because that's what I was doing, is I was choosing poverty and I was doing what I wanted to do. And I was grateful that she took me back with open arms. This year, I'm choosing more specific and harder things in people to be grateful for, if that makes any sense. I'm choosing to be grateful for people in my life that I personally have a problem with. So it makes me more grateful for them, and I feel like I'm not having such a problem with these people anymore, if that makes any sense. I feel like last year I was grateful for simple things. I was grateful for my house. I was grateful for my bed. And now this year, I'm actually just more grateful for deeper things, if that makes any sense.
That makes perfect sense. And one, let me applaud you for being open enough and honest enough with yourself to start all the way over. Because
yeah, so I'm a little bit behind.
Say it again.
I said I'm a little bit behind, but I also realize that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because instead of just going through the exercises just to get them done, I'm actually feeling the exercises. And actually, I want to say a shout out to BJ, because when he said it takes him all day to do his exercises, I've been taking all day to do my exercises. So it gives me a chance to actually pause and think throughout the day instead of trying to get up in the morning and rush to do them just to do them. So it's made a big difference. It's made a big difference this week.
Everybody give Michelle a hand clap. That is so awesome. I'm so proud of you. That growth is important, and you started out by saying, I'm glad you cleaned it up and said you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So you're not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. For you. The important thing is that you're taking it seriously and you're growing in it, and I admire you for that. Thank you. Look at God.
Now, the book we're reading, because this is going to go out email tomorrow. The book that we're reading. Oh, go ahead. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. Is it easier to be grateful for your past while you're trying to forgive after the forgiveness?
Okay, I heard your question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. First.
Okay, swell. Question had 3 layers. Now, it's hard as hell to be grateful. Everybody should receive that. It takes work to be grateful. Well, let me tell you why you need to receive that. Because if you're going to catch it, be grateful intellectually, but don't put it in your awareness, then you won't, with intent, be grateful. You won't. There's a guy in the sacred text that says, everybody to do good. Evil is always present. That's it. Okay. I believe the Rev wants to say something.
Bye. That's it.
Okay. Every time. Every single time. And so basically, he has to be intent. At the same time, Grateful in whatever
All right.
state that I'm in.
Wait a minute. Come on, quote it, right?
I have learned to be good.
Whatsoever.
Whatsoever.
In all things. Come on now. Come on, push that.
Learn to be abased and abound.
Learn
It
to be
comes
about-
back. The law of contentment says that you. Coming back to that. The rest of your question.
Eat your food first.
The rest of your question.
Then you'll worry about your
If you could. I think is you feeding people over there, Rev?
Don't you worry about the phone. I'll go throw that bitch off the street. I'm gonna go do it right now.
You throw that food across the street, boy. All right.
This is being recorded. Just let you know that. People.
Now,
You may not send this out.
my man trying to get his gratitude up. Now, every time I try to do good,
Always.
evil's always present. Always.
Always.
Now, when you look back at your past, nothing wrong with that. Okay, I know the cliche says you can't move forward looking back. That's true too. When you look back at your past, you need to embody the law of contentment. I'm coming back there. So it is perfectly fine to be grateful and look back at your past. Now let's open up this law of contentment. The law of contentment. Hold on, real quick. The law of contentment is something I am very happy to tell to you. There are 5 damaging things that will happen to you when you don't follow the law of contentment. If you compare yourselves to others, you're not content. It's everybody receiving this. Everybody's got it. The law of contentment is the secret to wealth and gratitude. So what is the law of contentment? The law of contentment is to say, I'm so happy I have everything I need. I don't need anything else. The way you all are happy is that was so good, I want some more. Think about this for a second. 2 different areas of the brain. Oh, I had so much fun. Let's stay longer. That's not happiness. I had so much fun. If we never come back, I would have enjoyed my life. 2 different areas of the brain. 2 different, Tim's just like, whatever, you know. 2 different areas of the brain. Dopamine takes 1. The hormone dopamine is, I'm so happy that I need more of this. Serotonin is, I'm so happy that if I have nothing else, I'm grateful for. Did he say question? Go ahead, you got a question?
Yeah, that was me. I was about to ask, isn't contentment a byproduct of poverty?
Say it again.
Isn't contentment, being content, being complacent, being lazy, being comfortable?
No. Contentment is just another word that's been hijacked since the English language is alive. But if I tell you to be content, you think it's bad unless Paul says it in the Bible. It's the truth. If you read in the scripture, this is fair. But if you hear somebody say, well, I'm content, you think they're being complacent. These are 2 different words. what we've done is we just hijacked the words, like love. Which one is it? You love your football team, you love your basketball team, you love your wife. Do you love your wife like you love your football team? You get love is another word we hijacked. And so it has lost its meaning. Contentment. Now think about the definitions in which I'm giving it to you. Contentment is, I am so happy. I don't need anything else. The false happy is, I'm so happy I want more. Can I give you some examples? Here are some examples for me. I'm so happy I want more. Woo, my wife is pretty. Boy, I sure love pretty women. Let me go pretty women. No. And if they have, well, you know what, I got a kid in the room. I have a blank addiction. But you know what I'm saying. Okay. You know something that he covers his ears. So he's like, oh, wait. But do you hear what I'm saying? When the reason why you cannot stay faithful is because you're not as happy as you
claim to. I only want a picture on the Congress team.
Hold on. I can't hear you. Say it again. I didn't hear him.
Congress.
Oh.
Yeah, using young adult in a chaotic world. That was my bad. I wasn't asking that. I'm sorry.
Okay. Try to catch.
Right.
Try to catch up with me. Mute your background from me, Real.
I got it.
Okay, never mind. Try to catch up with me. You are so happy, you just want to consume it. There's a viral video going around on Facebook about fish love. Y'all seen the rabbi talks about fish love? Oh, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I'm going to find it. So I'm going to throw it to you, find it, send you the link, and let you share your screen.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely... So let's break this down real quick. Let's break this down. I need you to understand that there's two types of happiness. One is real happiness. One form of happiness is, I want it so much, I'm going to consume it. You can't go anywhere. I need him around. I don't want to enjoy me. I want to enjoy him. Another form of happiness is, Lord, if you don't do anything else, you've already done enough.
Alternative rabbi.
This Bible keeps coming up a lot tonight, but that would leave the Bible. But but do you see the two different types? Yeah. They're two different types. A platonic relationship says, oh, I really love Talisha. Okay. Trying to keep it out of real human beings. So much.
Yeah, it's a Talisha.
So much that I don't have to cross the line with her. Because how she makes me feel is more than enough. The other one, I'm so happy with her, I really wish she would let me cross the line. So I can truly express how happy I am. Okay, Tempest, talk real quick. Stay there for me and let me find this video.
I'm telling them, Dad. Okay. So does anybody have a response or a comment or a question about what Antonio just, look at God, just talked about? I serve a good God.
This is so good. This is so good. This is so good. Actually, I might. You got your screen ready to share? Or you want me to do it here?
I'm ready.
Okay, good. Have it pulled up.
I do have a comment to make.
Hi, LOD.
As I think about what he just said, I don't know if I'm understanding clearly, but like, I think then I don't think I've ever been happy.
Yes, that is true.
Like, I'm like, I've always put my happiness in the hope for more. And I just thought that was okay. And that's what you're supposed to do to keep going forward. So that's interesting.
Okay, you should.
I have a question. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
I can hear
okay.
you.
I have a question as far as contentment versus being comfortable. How can you figure out if you're content but not in comfortable poverty? Saying, I mean, because when I was comfortable in poverty, I thought I was content with where I was. So how do you figure that out if you're in the right contentment or if you're just comfortable in poverty?
Yes. Okay. Nothing that. Try your hardest not to get into the semantics of things, because comfortable and contentment could, and you can be content in poverty and be content in prosperity. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Since you have a mindset, Phil, probably safe to say that you are comfortable in the right. The best way to answer.
You're breaking up.
If you're confused, I'm breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, your phone breaking up, I think. Or get on your phone.
On Tiffany. Okay.
Yeah, I
the
can hear you
best
now.
way to answer your I'm not sure how much you heard I say. How I heard I say it. Try not to quibble over the semantics of things, because you can be content in poverty or content in prosperity. Comfortable in poverty, comfortable in prosperity. But the best way to answer your question is to check your harvest. If the harvest in your life aligns with with what is prosperous, what is prosperity objectively, you're doing the right thing. Obviously, the opposite will tell you the wrong thing. If any of you have a confusing question about your life, stop thinking, check your harvest.
Okay.
Your
Thank you.
harvest is giving you all the answers you need. Yeah, your harvest is your SAT test. Well, we got people in Canada. I don't know if they do SAT. But you know what I'm saying? It is the test telling you what you're doing. But BJ had his hand up too, right? Okay, go ahead, BJ. And it was.
Oh yeah. Wow. You just said something that made me switch up my whole thought, right?
Cool.
Because at first I was gonna speak about being happy. And you talking about the release of chemicals and how that feels in your brain. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm addicted to being happy. I like doing things that make me happy, not things that what is the other hormone called cortisol. I don't like being stressed. So I guess sometimes avoid things that could be somewhat stressful to stay in a happy state, you know, whatever how that is. But then you talk about the harvest, right? Like I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful. But it seems like when I look at my harvest, and because I've been having to do that since we've been so thankful, I'm like, wow, I got a whole lot. I got a pretty good harvest, and I ain't sold none of these seeds. It's just I did, you know what I'm saying, me being nice and being in the right position or whatever. But it's like all these things coming, but I ain't necessarily happy or I don't even know the word for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for the things, but they don't give me that feeling like, you know, that feeling that's it's something inside. Is I don't know. It's a certain feeling I'm chasing. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's talking about what Shannon's talking about, like when you've been a champion or when you done did something great and you get that feeling and it feels so great. It's like, wow, that's that feeling I'm chasing, and I like it because it was like that's how when I was in, you know what I'm saying, into a whole lot of things. I'm like, well, I'm a champion. I can do this. I can do that. And it's like, oh wow, for real, I can beat this person up, do this. I can rob. I can do all kind of crazy criminal stuff and just get away with it and be scot free like I'm a don around here. And it's like I just found myself getting into all kind of stuff, but just getting away with it. And it's like, wow. And you know, every time I look back on my life, I'm like, God, you blessing me because I be doing some devilish stuff, and I get away scot free like I'm the, you know what I'm saying? Like you just got angels watching all over me. But either way, that it's confusing for me just in this conversation because I don't know, it's confusing.
Well, no problem. I'm finna unconfuse it with what I'm about to say and the video I'm about to play. Let's unconfuse it with what I'm about to say first. You suffer, and well, let's identify your suffer. Oh, I am happy, so I got some good stuff in my life. Oh, but I forgot to be happy about the good stuff in my life. Listen to what I just said. Oh, I'm happy. There's a few. How do I know I'm happy? Because my harvest, when I checked it, it's some good stuff that popped up. But when it popped up, I forgot to be happy about it. You, sir, are a victim of what Shannon calls the maze of mediocrity. When you get some good stuff and you forget to be grateful for it, you only create mediocrity. How do I know this?
How you know, Reverend?
Let's check the harvest. You get hot and you put cold together.
Watch it.
You get
lukewarm. Mm-hmm.
You get wheat. You get tares. You get stuff you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if you're going to be happy and manifest stuff in your life, don't forget to be happy about what you manifested in your life. Because what you do is you mix grateful with ungrateful, and you get the in between, and that's struggling from check to check.
Question.
Oh my God.
That makes sense?
Clutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna now let's answer this two different.
No, you're not gonna run over that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're gonna give us a second to digest. My God. Okay, please.
First off, this
No,
hurts
sir,
her.
you can't run over that. First of all, I got a question to open that up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna miss that.
If you are mixing harvest, good and bad, you have a whole life of, it's all right today. Yeah, it's so-so. There's a word in Spanish for that. I see. Yeah, you got a bunch of so-so. But you want to be great. When you do you like so-so food?
No. Oh, no.
So-so significant others? So-so bank accounts?
Hell no. Hold on now.
Okay.
Not even.
Does your teeth hurt? So-so. That's a pretty irritating day.
Yes.
It wasn't excruciating pain all day, but it wasn't peace all day. It was this incredible numbing pain that you had to learn to forget about. Mm-hmm. And please let me tell all of you, some of you are learning to forget about the mediocrity in your lives.
Play the damn video.
Okay. I said play the video.
I have a question.
Please agree.
Hi.
Pay close attention to what this man is saying. The reason we're playing this video is because, go ahead, you finish it. Just don't push play. The reason we're sharing this video is because I was talking about two different happies. Mm-hmm. Is everybody on point with me? Let's go. Yeah. Oh, I gotta put mine on. No, mine is. No, you just have to.
Somebody had a question.
Okay, play this first and we get to the question.
Young man, why are you eating that fish? The young man says, because I love fish. You love the fish. That's why you took it out of the water and killed it and boiled it. He said, don't tell me you love the fish. You love yourself. And because the fish tastes good to you, therefore, you took it out of the water and killed it and boiled it. So much of what is love, right, is fish love, right? And so, young couple falls in love. Young man and young woman fall in love. What does that mean? It means that he saw in this woman someone who he felt could provide him with all of his physical and emotional needs. And she saw in this man somebody she feels that she can write. That was love, right? That each one is looking out for their own needs. Right? It's not love for the other. The other person becomes a vehicle for my gratification. Too much of what is called love is fish love. Right? An external love is not on what I'm going to get, but what I'm going to give. We had an ethicist, Rabbi Dessler, who said, people make a serious mistake in thinking that you give to those whom you love. And the real answer is, you love those to whom you give. And his point is, if I give something to you, I've invested myself in you. Right? And since self-love is a given, everybody loves themselves, now that part of me has become in you, right, there's part of me in you that I love. Right? So true love is a love of giving, not a love of receiving.
Sure.
I see.
Bryant has.
Just spoke a word.
Brian had a question because he said he can't be heard. Deanna wanted the link, so I'll send this to everyone. There's the link. And who else had a question before Brian?
I think it was
Brian. Okay. You're unmuted, sir.
My question is, are we to be grateful for the poverty harvest in which we already sowed in the past and we're reaping from? Or are we to be grateful for the prosperity harvest in which we're sowing now and we'll reap from later?
All of it. And that answer probably hurts a few of you. All of it. You are to be grateful. No, put both of us in that. You are to be grateful for all your harvest and all your planting. Because, two reasons. If you are angry about what you did, guess what you're going to manifest?
What you angry about?
More things to be angry about. But if you're grateful, if you say, wow, I am so grateful that I was so stupid, so I don't have to be stupid today. I am, yes. I am so grateful that I drank and drove.
That's exactly what I was asking when I was saying the word stupid, but yeah. Are you grateful? Do you have to be grateful for your stupidity?
You asked.
Well, yeah, but you should be grateful for your stupidity. I've been to jail before. I am so grateful. I'm not making this up. I am so grateful that I was an idiot and went to jail because I lost my anger. Today, I don't lose my anger.
I'm grateful that you went to jail too.
Yes,
You got all that mess out.
yes.
Okay,
I'm grateful I got all that stupidity out, so I can actually be a grown up.
Wow.
I was a grown up being stupid.
You're an adult.
Now I'm just a grown up being.
Talk room. I ain't got no coins.
But if I'm angry about how much I went to jail, guess what I'll do? I'll be mad at the man, mad at the system, and I'll get more of the man, more of the system. FOD, I believe you wanted to say something.
Yeah. So you're not saying to never be angry then, right?
I'm telling you that even to be angry is a reason to be grateful. But But you have to be angry like the creative source of the world gets angry. And it's not the same.
Turn over tables, everybody.
That's it.
What you have to do
Flip the tables.
when the weather, if we were in 5,000 BC, we would say, woo, those clouds look angry. That womb looks angry. This is what we would say. We wouldn't be able to say, oh, well, the barometric pressure, that wasn't invented yet. Okay, all right. We would say, wow, the clouds look angry. So when the universe allows the clouds to get angry, and let's say a flood happens, does all life perish? And does the ground get refurbished? Even when the weather, not the climate, but the weather in this case, is unbalanced and then rebalancing itself with what you would call friction or violence, it is still a beautiful thing. If you didn't understand what I'm saying, and I'm probably being one of those brainiac things that I do, rain is just the weather fixing itself. That's it. That's it. Everything has this yin and yang. It's just fixing itself. And once it runs out, it fixes itself again by being sunny. That's it. Anger ought to fix you, not fix others. Yes.
Okay, that's what it does to me now.
That's what it does to you now. Okay. Okay, you unmute. Let us hear from you, and then we're going to hear from Ebony because she over there laughing. First off, she went, you know how you open up a can and go, whew, ooh, that was too much. And then she went, okay. So you go first. Probably.
Okay. Coming from an angry state a lot. When I was angry, yeah, that was the whole purpose. If you need fixing, I'm gonna need you to get that together so I can stop being angry. Okay. Okay. But over the past year, 2 years, I don't remember how long it is, but working on myself, when I get angry now, I talk to myself and say, okay, what are you really angry about? Is it worth being angry? Or are you going to sell your happiness for this? And so now I check myself more. Well, I never checked myself back then, but I check myself more now. So I tend to be less angry, and I will be angry for a moment, but not the whole day. I always tell myself, you have a moment, don't take the whole day. You take the whole day, you just want attention.
Woo! Wait a minute. Ebony Bashangi. Eva.
Oh my God.
When I be coaching her, that's what she be doing. She says that down there, Eva, you know, do this whole French thing that I can't understand.
Wow. What Grace said was, wow, dragging me. Because, yeah, even what you just said, I'm so sorry. Can you say what you just said before you went?
Say it again, Grace.
Okay. I was saying back then when I was angry, I wanted other people to change so I could stop being angry. Because it's your fault. It's not mine. It's your fault that I'm mad, not me. But now, as I've been working on myself for a while, I check myself now and ask myself questions like, why are you angry? Is it really worth being angry?
And then you said about
And then
tension.
okay. And then I said, are you willing to sell your happiness for whatever it is I was angry about? And then I said, I give myself a moment to be angry, but I do not take the whole day. Because if you take the whole day to be angry, you just want attention.
And I really connected with that because
Please don't make it
almost as if
repeatedly.
my anger has its own identity. It's a part of who I am now. So it's almost like sometimes I even get bored, and just one of those days I want to, cause a scene, maybe have a fit. And like when I am in those crazy, moments, I'm talking to myself about how that person just doesn't want to see how bad they are. And I'm telling them how they can change and they're not listening to me. Why are they doing this to me? That's what I would say. And ever since I had my coaching call with Antonio, and he was saying how it's either every situation in my life, I either allowed it or allowed it or attracted it. What was it? Created it. Yes, exactly. So now when I get angry, I'm still very, very angry. And in my anger, I'm angry at myself because I'm like, how can you have allowed this or created this? How can you? I don't believe it. I'm still very upset, but I'm like, I have to tell myself that so that I'm not pointing the finger at the other person. So now these bursts of anger are not as long, still happen, but they're just little moments throughout the day and there's gaps in between. Whereas before it was that take the whole day to prove a point type thing.
To prove a point, that's it.
Yeah, that's powerful. That was good job. Good job. I want to share some transparency with you that none of you are going to like. All of you will respect, and all of you do it. And you're going to be a liar when I say it. Yeah, it's that serious.
Sharing with us our transparency?
Yes, I'm sharing with you my transparency. But y'all going to lie about it. You're going to totally lie about it. In fact, when I pause, that's when I know you lied. I'm going to pause on purpose. I realized when being angry that I had this little voice in my head that kept saying, you really need to stop, bro. Hey, no, seriously. No, seriously, don't do that. You're doing too much. Okay, so great. Okay, we got grace. And look, I haven't even paused yet. You're doing way too much. No, they probably learned their lesson. And I'm like, nah, we finna go. Yeah, go that. And then I'm thinking to myself, while being poisoned, hey, you should really stop that. Mm-hmm. And one day, and this was I was about 23, 24. One day I realized why I kept being angry like that. I'm gonna get ready to pause. I realized the more I was angry, in control, and hurting people, it aroused me. I paused. I paused. Okay, look. Okay. Yes. Go ahead. Somebody unmute and go to this tab confession.
Hey, I'll talk. It's like the biggest high in the world. It's that sugar. It's like the biggest sugar rush when you get that angry.
Yep.
And I'll even take one. I'll take one. I'll take it further. I hate to say it. I'm gonna be transparent. Hell, sometimes I like making people cry.
Yeah.
God,
who else?
Look.
Who else? Okay, look. Okay, look. Come on, MOD, raise that hand up. Don't play. You're not that bad? Okay, she's not that bad. You said something back there, Deanna. You said
according to me, I think.
Okay, according to you.
We can cry, but it's not my intention.
Oh, it's my intention. Oh yeah. When I want to see tears. I want my coffee mug just straight full of tears.
But watch this here. I wouldn't stop until they cried. Watch it. I felt better when they cried, and then I wanted to get all close. and fix it. These is facts.
Mm-hmm.
You can lie all you want to. It's actually called a cycle of abuse. The crying was a release. Now that it's right there at the tension. Now I want to release it. It's really, I promise you, this is real deal. And you know that I'm not lying, because all of you are like that. Every human being.
So?
For me, I just accounted for it very early. I thought, how inappropriate of me to be happy and aroused to hurt people. It makes sense. This is why rapists do what they do. I mean, this is facts. Go ahead, sir.
I would say this. It's almost something like in your mind, you say, you know what, they deserve it. And you will find a petty ass reason to say why they deserve it.
Yep.
Check.
Yep. Yep.
You gonna catch these tears. I'm gonna give it to you.
Check.
These tears.
Yep. Double check.
Okay, Deanna, we can hear you. Deanna, was that Michelle trying to talk?
Hi, Michelle.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Hey, well, what I was going to say was that being a victim of domestic violence, that I was always the one who was crying. So when I left that relationship and got into a new relationship and I became the aggressor, and I was able to make somebody else's feelings hurt, like mine were from the previous relationship, I agree. It was a feeling of power. It was a feeling of I was not a wimp anymore, and I had strength, and I could be the bully, and I could make somebody else cry. So I absolutely agree with you on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, MOD.
I'm really ashamed to say this, but I almost, at first, it was out of my control. And I feel like it almost became a manipulation tactic, because now I can get away because everyone knows that I get angry. So like I can get away with making fun of names, and you already know that I will sincerely say sorry, and you have to take it because, I'm growing, I'm learning, and like knowing that everyone knows that no, you don't want to make her angry, so just listen to me, and then I won't get angry. And then we'll be good. And like, I don't want to do like that. That's horrible because I like it.
Yeah, you're right.
Just listen, and then I won't get angry. What a word! Thank you, Emma, doing that.
So you go now.
What a word!
You tell them how much you resonate with this.
I resonate with all of it. Yes, if you listened to me the first time, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. You're going to accept me as I am because you shouldn't have pissed me off, because you should have just listened the first time, then we wouldn't be in this situation right now. I can relate to Michelle because I was in a domestic violence relationship, and the person did make me cry and then wanted to be all yada, yada, yada. And once I got out that relationship and got into a better relationship, I was like, oh, well, I get to punk you now and make you cry because I was still hurting from previous relationship and I needed somebody to take that payback. And I couldn't get that person, so let me hit you up. Wow. So I get it. I get it. I get it.
I will say something.
Go ahead, Jim.
All right, so Tony, I remember the first coaching session you had, and I remember what I had with you. And I remember I was telling you how an ex told me there's a reason why people don't do something, whatever. And just now I just realized it. This heifer actually cheated on me, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I am ashamed to say it at the same time.
Hold on.
This is being recorded.
Wait. Look. Okay. I'm gonna put this on the internet for law of attraction. Normally you can say what you want, but just don't say her name on this one. Okay. The East people like 456-653-2321 is her social.
Now, you know what? I ain't angry at this person no more because I realized that she had hurt me. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make her break up. I'm gonna make her get back with me, and then I'm gonna punish her.
I did that before. And I bet you me and Jim ain't the only two people who did that. We so covered to you.
Nope. I did it before myself.
It ain't just the men.
Oh, man.
It ain't just the men. It's not just the men. You women, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Deanna Marie.
This was before I was rambling.
So mine stemmed from like what Tempest and them said. This is what I said do. Why you not doing what I told you to do? Oh, so you don't want to do what I told you to do. Did you forget I control this? Oh, you did forget I control this. Okay, so let me check you real quick. Okay, so now that you understand what a control is in this relationship, now you can go on, come on, let me pat your back. All right, now go on over there, leave me alone. Or oh, so you want to play this game of tit for tat to see whose words can cut the deepest. I got you. Let me shoot this to you real quick because I know you're going to catch the tone. You respond, oh, okay, so y'all, oh, excuse me, oh, you pissed now? Okay, cool, I'm going to slide the phone over there and just let you sit in there. So you can feel how you can just feel how I'm feeling right now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, she said it brought her great joy. You're not the only one. I'm the one who brought this up. I realized, man, I remember the person who I liked her. I remember when I realized it. It's about 23, 24. It's like, wow, I like hurting you because, and it was so many different reasons. The main reason for me, I had 10 or 12. The main reason for me is 23, 24. See, I never controlled anything. I didn't control my childhood. Mm-hmm. When I got adopted, I was so out of control, I couldn't control anything. I went to the Army from 18 to 22 and didn't control none of my life. Now I'm out, and I'm going to control something. Mm. But I go to blank, 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 and that didn't work out. Like, I'm going to put that out there. Now, the next person, they got it real good. Because I never controlled anything my whole life. 24 years of living, I was never, ever, ever in any ability to control anything. So I became very evil. I became very evil. Not just quickly. Now y'all are nicer than me. I get mad, break all your stuff. And y'all said apology. I wouldn't apologize for nothing. There's some folk I still owe an apology to. I got some decades of apologies I need to give. I just wouldn't apologize for nothing. And be just fine with that. Wouldn't even feel bad. Yeah, I was the worst person. I was one of the people that I would honestly make you feel bad and then wouldn't even feel bad for making you feel bad. I was the worst kind. And then I realized, I like doing this. This is a problem. There's no gratitude there. I wasn't grateful for my life. In fact, I was hoping that I would die before I was 30. Too much of a coward to do it myself. But I was so much of a risk taker, I was hoping somebody would take me out. And you may not have these problems, but I did. And somebody who will see this will resonate with it. It may not be you, but this is real. This isn't illustration. I had real deal mental problems. I really did. Real deal mental problems. And I'm not telling you, I'm going to be very careful here. I'm not saying medicine won't work. I'm not against medicine. I'm not saying prayer won't work. I'm not against prayer. I'm saying medicine don't fix all mental problems. Prayer don't fix all mental problems. They don't. Some of this stuff is for real. And some of our institutions need to respect. I'm trying real nicely. Some of our institutions need to respect that some of these mental problems is for real. You can't. I'm leaving it alone. Yes. You can't rub oil on my mental problem, okay?
Pushing you on the ground.
Or yes. You can't anoint my mental problem away. Not always.
You do have to treat it with a combination of things.
A combination of
I
things.
think that's where people get lost.
Absolutely.
Mental health.
Combination
Like
of
you
things.
treat your body with a combination of care tactics. You got to treat your mind the same way.
That's right. That's coming from a counselor. You got to treat you. She said, because she wasn't unmuted, she said, you got to do a combination of things. Here's what worked for me. I'm not telling you this is for me. I'm just telling you what worked for me. Gratitude. I kid you not. The moment I decided to be happy, almost every last one of my problems went away. I'm not telling you not to medicate. I will tell you meditate fixes a lot of things. What is the point of medication? To simulate a healed body. What is the point of meditation? To create a healed body. When I became happy, some of them stuff was diagnosed as mental problems. Fair enough, it was. Happiness solved a few of them, especially my abandonment issues. My abandonment issues were strong. You know you got abandonment. You gonna leave me? You just like finish that sentence for me. Come on, finish that sentence. You just like
my daddy.
Okay, my daddy. Everybody else. You understand? Come on, if you said that, you have abandonment issue somewhere. Being happy with yourself releases a lot of stuff you're not happy with. Shannon is 100% right. You gotta medicate yourself in a combination of ways. You don't just put soap on your body to take a bath. You put a towel on there too, and water. That's 3 different methods to clean your body.
Sometimes when something is broken, it can't even get wet. You have to wait to clean it.
You're sure right.
It has to heal.
That's right. Shannon says sometimes when you're broken, you can't even put water on it. You gotta wait till it heal in order to start washing, which is very important there. TD Jakes said it this way. Let me see your arm. TD, right there. TD Jakes said, as long as I'm hitting you.
You got one more.
He did this in the middle of a sermon. As long as I'm hitting you.
He did.
You can't heal. You can't get better. It's not gonna work.
You hit me on camera.
It's not gonna work. You can't get better. But until you move, now you gotta move away.
Okay, one of us been moved.
Oh, okay, that's the wrong method.
Oh, well.
Okay? One of us been move. That's the wrong method. But until you separate from what's hurting you, you can't even start the healing process.
Hi, do you see this bruise?
I know that was a sermon. I know I used that as an illustration. That doesn't stop it from being facts.
Tomorrow I'll remind you.
That doesn't stop it. Doesn't stop it from being facts. And some of you want to be clean without healing. That's what Shannon was just talking about. You got an open wound putting water in it. You skipping processes. You want to be clean without going through the process of healing. You know what that looks like? That looks like you dating people. Now, this man likes you and he wants to be intimate with you in some way. Or this woman likes you and she wants to celebrate Mother's Day. I'm bringing up two real examples. He wants to be intimate, but since you never went through the process of healing through your molestation or whatever, nobody can touch you. Me. Since your mama never came back from you, you don't respect Mother's Day. That's real me. I was 28 before I started celebrating Mother's Day. Maybe 27. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible in this lesson. Because mom is not the most holiest of words for me. But I got to make you pay for it. Because I never healed. How old was I in 2012? It was 2000, whatever year 2012. I'm 36 now. Whatever year that was. 6 years ago.
Oh, 6 years ago.
So I was 30.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I need you to understand that I was 30 before I would give mothers and Mother's Day their proper credence. 30. It was 2012. I was at Lakewood Church at a men's encounter retreat. Lakewood Church, Joel, men's encounter retreat. Everybody's got stuff to forgive. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to forgive. I'm cool. I was cool. I forgave everything. And somehow, my mom popped in my head and I realized, whoa, I never forgave her. I'm not mad at her. Just never forgave her. Because what she did has dictated everything about my life towards women. And on October 20th, 2012, I can't get more transparent than this. I went and found my mom, which is impossible to do. I went apologize. No, actually, told her, you don't have to apologize. And catch this. She said, I ain't got nothing to apologize for. And it didn't matter. I wasn't there for her reaction. I was there because I know I needed to close that chapter. I'm helping somebody right now. Her reaction had nothing to do with any of my reaction. Her reaction was totally irrelevant. In fact, I laughed and I started showing her grandkids that we didn't even talk about it. Seriously. But I was 30 when that happened. 30. And here's the crazy part. I was pastoring people when that happened. I need you to hold on to that one. I was in charge of people's souls according to a religion. And had to come to grips that I had problems with my grown mother as a grown man. So if you sitting here thinking you good, I hope you are. But don't be surprised if 30 or 40 will sneak up on you. You still holding on to stuff that you shouldn't be holding on to. Some of you are trying to love. Some of you are in religions in which they call God your father, but you have father issues. You're blocking your relationship.
That was me.
So that was her. You want to talk about it? You should talk about it.
I said no. That was me. I didn't grow up with my dad. My dad got my mom pregnant and then married somebody else when I was 4 months old. And he never came around, but he pretended to be a great dad to me in front of other people. So I would go to church and hear God the Father, and I would be like, that's BS. How can someone I can't see be my father when the person I look like don't act like my father? So it took me, I'm 30 now. It took me to last year to really, one, let go of my expectations for my father and to accept him for who he is and allow him to be who he is, just not in my world. And once I did that, then God started revealing himself as God the Father. And then I have a different relationship with God now. It's not what was told to me, it's what I experienced him to be. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my dad because he taught me what not to seek in a husband. And that's no disrespect to him.
No, that's powerful.
I'm just grateful that I learned my lesson before I walked into a marriage with somebody exactly like him. That's it.
You want me to follow up there? Somebody better say something. I'm not gonna come behind that. Shannon. You got the gift.
Speaking of my friend.
Yes. We are looking at them.
We gonna jump after you. Okay.
Well, I don't have father issues, but I have boss issues. I believe that what we believe and what we choose to believe in as our spiritual deity, when you go through the process of truly becoming grateful, you learn that being, that person, that God, that universe, that whatever, in a totally different light. Because when you grow up, as far as I know, Tempest, myself, a couple of others of us did grow up in church and were fed spirituality, or were fed religion. It's almost like feeding ungratefulness, because our minds aren't respected enough for us to develop our own belief system. So it's saying, eat this, like this, let this be your favorite. So quite naturally, when you get older, if you didn't have a physical father, or you didn't have a physical mother, or you didn't have whatever in the physical, and you were force-fed it in the spiritual realm, you're going to reject it because you're rejecting it in the physical. And so when you become grateful, it matters not whether it's physical or spiritual, because it's coming from within. You created to be what it is. And so now Tempest has her own relationship with God, her own understanding of God the Father. But that came through a process of her having to become grateful and letting go of what wasn't to embrace what is. And that only comes through being grateful.
I'm not following either one of these.
I will follow up with something, and I apologize in advance. But I did not learn gratitude at my church. I learned how to be ungrateful by watching people praise God and give thanks to him. Oh, if I had 10,000 tongues, I couldn't thank him enough. But not be grateful for the person sitting next to them.
Oh my God.
Or not be grateful for the dollar in their pocket. I saw how to be ungrateful while pretending to be grateful to God. So the church allowed me to be ungrateful, to where a book years later had to unlearn all of that schooling. And that was confusing for me, because I am grateful. I go to church, I give thanks to God, but I never felt that in my soul. I never felt giving thanks to God. So I think the church, for me, I'm not talking about anybody else, but for me and my experience, I did not learn anything about gratitude from the church. And this book, the first time I read it was conflicting because I know what I learned in church. And she said, be grateful for this, but I am grateful, but I don't feel grateful because I had examples of how not to be. So
pass the book over here to show the audience the book.
Imagine. It's, yeah, you need this in your life. Not in addition to the Bible.
Just touching on what Tempest just said, these last 3 years that I read this book, I still attend the church that I grew up in. I still work in it. The people that reared me in the church are still there. They're a lot older now. And when I first read about gratitude, I told y'all I didn't go through the whole book. This is the first year that I've went as long as I have went, and I am a few days behind myself. But you're more observant, and not observant in the aspect of being judgmental, but you're observant in it because every morning you're waking up grateful. And so when you step out into the world, you're grateful. And so when I get to church on Sunday mornings, one of the things that damages my heart the most and that calls upon the empathy that I do have in me is that we have a lot of old members, old ladies, especially old men. And I watch how the young and some of the middle age get so frustrated with these old people just being themselves. You get the deep breaths, you get the, all right, sister so-and-so, okay. And because of how grateful I am when I see these elders or these people who have been extremely, quotations, grateful all of my life, that can't even humor an old lady that feels like she's Beyonce, or an old man that constantly wants to give you a hug or ask you the same questions over and over again. These people are 80 plus years old, and they are probably treated the worst inside the walls of their church sometimes. And that comes from a spirit and a mindset of ungratefulness, and it's inside of walls where people assume that gratitude should be practiced the most. But through my gratitude practice, I have been grateful enough to let go of my assumptions and accept people for who they are and allow them to be. And so I check it within my own gratitude, and I shower these old people with as much love and acceptance. And I let them hug me every single Sunday and tell me how proud they are of me and how I was their Sunday school student, but determined to go out and be grateful. Not a reflection of what was put into me, but still something that they can be proud of. So it's just, it's difficult, profound, and very enlightening, rewarding, and kind of weightlifting when you are truly grateful.
I ain't 5 minutes. You want to pray? What you want? I mean, FOD, put you on the spot. You women are taking charge. Go ahead.
To ask a question?
I ain't got no questions. I'm just trying not to follow these two giants.
I actually have. How do you heal? Because you guys are talking about healing and stuff like that, and and I'll ask it the way I asked you the other day. Like, I need practical things of how to heal, because I find myself in all of this of, yes, there's a lot of built up anger and rage and all this, and a lot of abandonment stuff and all this, and it's it's showing up, and I'm trying to deal with it and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, I just want to know how to get to the root of it so I could really pull it out. And until I do that, I know that I won't be able to really, as much as I try to fix it, I don't think I'll be able to really go forward, because I feel like I bring everything back, different faces, different places, but it's initially always the same thing. So yeah, I want to know, what are some practical things to heal?
I'll start this one off, and I'm going to pass to these two titans. This will never change. This is for everybody. Let these titans say what they want to say. At the heart of you not being able to heal in your situation, I want to be kinder here. In most situations, let's generalize it, but it's practical. Let's just generalize it. So I'm not talking about you anymore. Generalize it. We think we're better than the people who hurt us.
I think I'm following that. You got me.
And if you want to heal, you must first stop thinking you're better than the person that did something to you. Because we say things in our head. Well, I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have cheated.
But what if it's the truth?
Okay. Not only did that reveal a little bit about your thinking.
If you follow the instructions the first time.
But it probably is true. So what? All the people who forgave you, it was true about you too. And that's the truth. It was absolutely true about you, and you still received their forgiveness. But now that it's your time to extend the same courtesy, you're so much better than people, you can't give them what you once received. Okay, Shannon. Go with Shannon now. Shannon's got it.
What dropped into me as Tony was just speaking is that when it comes to us healing and us knowing that we need to heal, it's far easier for us to drop ourselves into the actions of the ones that hurt us than to drop ourselves into the action that is required for our own healing. We escape healing by saying, well, I wouldn't have did that. And I wouldn't have been them. I wouldn't have been them. I wouldn't have been them. Well, you're not them. And as long as you're dropping yourself into the action that they did to you, you'll never heal. You have to be willing, like what Brian was saying earlier in his Walk It Out Wednesday, you have to be willing to let go of their action in order to create your response. As long as you're holding on to their action, you can't respond. And if you don't respond, you can't heal. The healing is within you. But if you don't want to let go of what they've done, then you want to keep yourself in pain because you like that feeling. It's easier to deal with and it's more comfortable for your present state because you've grown accustomed to it. However, you don't like it because you don't like hurting. You don't like the pain. You don't like the mental state. You don't like blowing up in anger all the time. You're ready to release that. But in order to release that, you have to release them. And the only way to release them is to forgive. And the only way to forgive is to be grateful. And so the practical way that you can do that is by really feeling the practices in this book daily. If you do the practices in this book for 28 days consistently, that's practicality. Anything that we do, in order to make it practical, we have to do it consistently. So you pick something. This book lays it out pretty easily because it gives you 28 days of simple practices of becoming grateful. Gratitude will unlock your healing. Gratitude will unlock forgiveness. Gratitude is the key to unlock all of it. But in order to grab a hold of gratitude, you have to let go of them and what they've done. That's all I got. I'm not saying nothing else. I love y'all. Unless somebody has a question, I'm not totally rejecting. I'm just getting myself off the hot seat.
I got you. I got your mic.
I started healing
when I woke up one morning and asked myself, what purpose is this weight? What's the purpose of it? What is it serving me? I want to do X, Y, and Z. And does the pain from my dad and from a past relationship, does it get me to where I'm trying to go? And once I stopped lying to myself, once I stopped saying, well, that's just the way I am, that's just the way life goes, I realized it wasn't doing anything for me but keeping me at $7.50 an hour.
No, Lord.
It didn't do anything for me with relationships with my mom, who I had a great relationship with, but I wanted to take my anger out on somebody, and she was closest in the house. So I took it out on her. And the weight was just unbearable. I would cry myself to sleep. I would wake up crying. I would I would go in the restroom and pretend I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, and I would just boo-hoo myself, all just, oh my God, for no reason, because I wanted to carry this pain, because I thought it made me look like a good person. So to heal myself, I know you're going to hate this answer because I hated it when somebody told me, but I had to let it go. I had to let that version of Tempest, who wasn't real anyway, I had to let her go. She wasn't serving nobody. She wasn't helping nobody. She was pretending to be friendly, but she wasn't really. She was angry. She was barely making it. She was getting into car accidents for no reason at all. She was cussing people out for no reason at all. She was losing sleep. She was gaining weight. She was losing weight. Her hair was falling out. She had bags under her eyes. And she was helping people be great while being so hurt and angry herself. And I had to let that created Tempest go. Because she couldn't get, she couldn't get, Shannon said this money, but she couldn't get the happiness that she deserves. She couldn't get the kids that she wants and the relationship that she wants. And I want to take care of my mom for the rest of her life where she doesn't have to pay for nothing. And I couldn't get that being angry at a job making $7.50 an hour. Listen to people cuss me out every day because that's what I attracted. So I hate the answer. I hate to give you this answer because Antonio told me this in 2011, and I was like, man, get away from me with that. But I had to let it go. And for me, letting go was I had to let go of Tempest, of who I created myself to be, and embrace who I truly was, and go on that journey of finding out what I didn't want and what I didn't like, so I could discover what I did want and what I did like. I'm sorry for my answer, but it's true.
Your answer is actually very scary because I'm thinking, there's a part of me that is still in denial. And as you guys speak, is saying, I'm not that hurt. Like, I'm not, it's not as bad as these people are trying to make it seem, and then I'm like, but if what you're saying is true, then that's a lot of things that have to change. Where do I find myself? Because I'm like, I don't even know how to take this off. Because I'm like, this is me. So like, how do I now just become something different?
Well, your energy's in the wrong place. Don't take anything off. Don't do any changing. Create a new reality. So much easier to do that, and it's the only way to actually do it. Many people try to change by shedding the old. It's too much work there. And why would you go back to poison and take it off?
Just create who you desire to be,
Mm.
and you automatically distance yourself from who you were. T.D. Jakes says the faster you run to your dreams, it's also the faster you distance yourself from your past. You don't go back to your past to release it. You create your dreams and you go chase them. Now I'm talking to everybody. Don't put your energy in the wrong place. Take a deep breath and relax. And start creating your new place.
Mm.
It's the only thing that will serve you. It's the only thing that exists now. The new place you cannot see because it does not exist in your current reality is the only thing that actually exists now. Your past is so far beyond you, even if it was yesterday, you can't do anything about it. Your present is a residual effect of your past. You're only where you are in this present moment right now, this very second, as a residual effect of what you've already planted. So the only thing that is real is in your imagination. And that's the truth.
Mm.
And when you get that, when you can fully understand that what you're living is what you planted, past tense.
Mm.
What you're living is what you planted. You can't unchange what you plant, and you can't do anything about your present. The only thing you can do is create the new you in your future. This is why people like me will tell you the real world is in your head. The fake world is what you see.
Mm.
So I guess I'll close it this way.
Please.
Find yourself constantly living in your imagination. You're so worthy of it. And it's the only thing that hasn't hurt you yet.
Mm.
Your imagination is the only thing that hasn't hurt you yet. It's never let you down. And it's the only 100% supporter you have in your life.
Mm.
Your imagination will support you 100% to create the life that is worthy of you.
Mm.
Live in your imagination. Don't take off the old you. It's going back to something that you can do nothing about. Create a new you and notify people this is what it is. And anyone who won't respect it, walk away from them.
Huh.
Let me pray for you, Lord. We thank you that we are people who walk away from people who do not bless us,
Reverend.
who do not respect us, and who won't let us be who we are. Now we thank you for the imagination that you have created us. Imagination, interesting, image. You made us in your image. You gave us an image nation. We use it because that is where our creative power comes from. Because as the creative source, you gave us the one thing you are, imagination. You gave us the power to create because you are the one that created all. God, I say right now that anybody listen to me later or now, it doesn't matter. They're creators. They are those who will create a life that is worthy of them and only pass prosperity to their children and not low self-esteem.
Yes.
In truth, we're all creating. Now may we create like the great creative source. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, everybody, we do appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. This will be on the internet tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.